Pierre asked me yesterday, when do I prepare for, thanks. When do I prepare for these calls? And my answer to him was, in the morning, usually anywhere between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, depending on what time I get up. And I was preparing this morning. I spent over an hour in shift. I wrote 4 pages of notes preparing for you. And then I was spending time in mental meditation, prayer, getting ready for the day, listening to that small voice, that still small voice. No, I don't have voices in my head. That's not it. I'm very spiritual. You guys know that. And if I'm praying to God, I believe he's talking right back to me. And I want to share something. If it's okay with you, we're not going to talk real estate today. And if it's okay with you, I'm pretty much going to just speak from my heart. And whenever I do this, trust me, I always stop and go, oh boy, I hope this goes well, because I'm just going to be open, honest, authentic, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. And I hope that's okay. Now, understand for a moment, a few of the things that I'm going to talk to you about are in reference to how I feel, what I believe spiritually, and understand that, God, family, then business is at the core of our value structure for Keller Williams Realty. Now, that said, Keller Williams would tell you, we're not telling you that it's the same God for all of you, for all of us. But for me, I'm a Christian, and I'm going to speak to you from my beliefs. And I hope it's okay if I do that. Please don't be offended. In the book, The Noticer, Jones is talking to a guy by the name of Henry Warren. Now, Henry Warren was a contractor in Southern Alabama with his focus on the big picture. He was running multiple businesses and driving from Atlanta to Southern Alabama every day, back and forth, spending very, very little time with his wife, who happened to be pregnant with their first child on the way. And one of the businesses that he owned was a landscaping business. And he would contract for jobs that he knew he couldn't complete. And he would offer to do work that he never intended to deliver. And he hired mostly immigrants, some of them illegal, and paid them less than he promised to pay them. And after all, who would they complain to anyways? In other words, the guy was a jerk. And Jones tapped him on the shoulder one day, and he looked him in the eyes and he said, we need to have a conversation. Soon you're going to die. Now, imagine his shock. And before he could respond with an argument, he said, whoa, wait just a second. And he scanned his hand out at everybody that was working as part of his crew. And he says, soon all of them are going to die. Life is a blink. Trust me, I look in the mirror and I'm going, holy cow, how did that happen? I was 20 years old yesterday. How did I turn 59 today? Be quiet, Aaron. My son is having a baby. Seriously? How did that happen? And I know that if I blinked and I'm 59, I'm going to blink and I'm going to be 79. And I'm going to blink again and I'm no longer going to be here.
89. Let's get to 89.
Let's get to 89. Right.
Now,
Right.
Henry Warren had a come to Jesus moment. And he woke up and he started turning his life around. It wasn't going the way he thought. And Jones visited him again and he started talking to him about the son that he was going to have. And he said, "What's the name of this boy that your wife is pregnant with? What's your son's name?" And Henry responded, "Caleb." And Jones responded back, "Do you know who the original Caleb is?" He says, "You need to do some research, son, and you need to find out who the original Caleb is." And then he starts speaking words of prophecy into Caleb's life. He is planting seeds of greatness. Now listen to what he says. "Your son, Caleb, will lead a long and fruitful life. He will live his days leading others to long and fruitful lives of their own. Caleb will love his mother and father and honor and respect them. He will protect his mother and be proud of his father." Caleb's mother, he will be proud of his father. Caleb's mother will caress him, imbue him, and I know I'm butchering that word, with hope and confidence, and show him the kind of love that only a mother can. And that affection will mean the world to him, but it is Caleb's father who will lead him with the very example of his own life. Caleb will watch his father closely and duplicate everything his father does. Caleb will become his father, what his father becomes. Caleb will become what his father becomes. Jones watched as tears began to stream down Henry's face. "Wow," Henry said in a voice choked with emotion, "that's pretty scary. Caleb will become what I become?" Jones goes on to share with him, "You can remove the generational curses from Caleb's life by removing those impediments. Say it for me. Impediments. Thank you. That's why I wasn't saying it right. Impediments right now in your own life. At this very moment, you possess the power of perspective. You can choose to see your life becoming whatever you wish." Now, here's what I believe. I believe that this life is preparation for the next life. I believe that we are all spiritual beings living, having human moments. I don't believe we are human beings having spiritual moments. I believe that we are spiritual beings having human moments. I believe that we were created with a spirit that lives forever. Your body, your heart, your lungs, the blood that cycles through your body is temporary, but your spirit is not. Your spirit cannot cease to exist. Now, remember, I said I believe a number of times. So if you don't believe this, it's okay. Are we okay with that? Okay. I believe that your spirit will go on to live in eternity. And I believe for me and for all of you, that our spirit is going to go on to live in eternity that is an eternity of peace. It's an eternity of no pain. It's an eternity of joy. My mother, who died when she was only 73 years old, who spent the last 40 years of her life in a wheelchair from crippling arthritis, who couldn't even cut up her own food in order to eat it. If we went out to dinner with her, we had to cut up her food so she could eat. My mother is living in eternity in a perfect body. She is pain-free. She is skipping, dancing on streets of gold. I believe that our friend who left us no longer is battling the battle that he battled while on earth. I believe that he is living in an eternity of peace and joy and love, and that he no longer feels pain. I'm not reading from a book right now. This is from me. I'm responding to Deidre. This is me. The book that I was reading from is The Noticer by Andy Andrews. Read that book. I also believe that everything you do and everything you say matters to everyone. It matters to all of us, and it matters forever. And I believe that you have an opportunity to leave a legacy for people that will change the world. And I believe that, unfortunately, there's a lot of us who are settling for less than we should settle for. That we have choices, and those choices include to live the best life we can live in order to have the greatest impact on others. The whole idea behind Survive to Thrive is we move through stages of our life. At least we're supposed to, but some of us don't because we choose not to. And the lowest stage of existence is survival. I'm just doing everything I can to keep my head above water and get by, pay my bills, pay the rent. You know, there's more homeless people in America today than there ever have been, ever. And I don't know who it was, and I'm taking this out of context, but somebody on the news, their solution for this was to tell the homeless people to go home.
What?
Where? To go where? That's the whole idea. They're homeless.
That's got to be stupid.
You know, stupid should hurt. There would be fewer stupid people if it hurt.
Some people like pain, John.
I believe that we move from survival to stability, and we move from stability to success. And some of us spend our entire life there, and that's okay. It is. It's not okay for me. I have a standard that I will not apologize for, that my life, for whatever time I have left on this earth, whether it's today or another year or another 20 years or whatever it is going to be about creating legacy for others. If we choose to take that next step from success, where life becomes about more than me, more than my home, more than the car I drive, more than the boats I own, more than the vacations that I go on, more than titles, more than awards, more than all of the attention that I get, it becomes about more because I choose for it to become about more, and my life will be about creating legacy for others. It's a standard. It's a choice. Mediocrity is a choice, and it's okay if you choose that, but it's not okay with me. If that's your choice, you don't get to hang out with me, because I will not hang out with mediocre people. If your choice is to focus on you and your success, that's okay too. But it doesn't sit well with me, because my standard is other people, and you don't get to hang out with me. Now, some of you are going to take that wrong, and I apologize, and I don't. My friend Tara Carter says, sorry,
Not sorry.
not sorry. Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. By the way, and I'm going to close with this, and Michael, I'm coming right to you, and Jess. That spirit that lives inside of you that is going to live forever. Where that spirit spends eternity
Yes,
is
that's right.
also a choice.
Waiting on that, John.
Michael, talk to us.
Thanks, John, for today's message.